The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, a packed show. What do you do with real estate during a divorce? We're going to introduce you to some awesome properties up in Ocala, great part of the world. Also investing in real estate. It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like getting multiple open houses, all from your living room, with my attorney advice out the way. Any questions whatsoever during the program, the phone number is on the screen, 407-205-0400. Wonderful show lined up for you today, but first, the opening statement. We're going to start today by talking about investing in real estate. It's a big question right now because people say, well, I don't see the values of houses going up anymore. Should I use real estate as an investment tool? Also, we're going to hit, for the first time ever, a bunch of houses that are for sale right now in Ocala and Marion County. People have been asking me a lot, hey, I'm tired of Orlando. I need to get out of here. I want to find a more rural place. The question always is, what do you think, Justin, of Ocala and Marion County? We're going to answer those questions and more by asking real questions. Every Saturday here on the program, we ask real questions to the trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. I kick it off today with our good buddy, John Ledford, Fortress Wealth Group. John, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Justin. I'm good.
It's a weird time in real estate, I guess, right now because it has been such an unbelievable market. It's increased so much over the last 2 years, which, again, we were sitting here 3 years ago when the pandemic broke out, and I don't think anyone really, we can all say we did, but we didn't really predict how the increases we were going to see in the real estate prices here. And people now are saying, well, it's dumb for me to invest in real estate because the prices aren't going to go up anymore.
Right.
You advise people all the time on really all of their investment strategies, real estate being one of them.
Yep.
What are you telling people? What are you seeing?
It's been an interesting time. You have people who want to exit real estate for a wide variety of reasons. Maybe that's their single pillar of wealth. And sometimes they have limited strategies on how to do that. They don't want to sell, do a 1031 exchange, and reinvest in other real estate at the height of the market that they can't control. And on the investment side, the same thing has happened in reverse. They could buy something fairly inexpensively, maybe do some small rehab and then sell it. And that's changed dramatically as well, not only because of cost of acquisition, but also cost of construction. And then ultimately, who are they going to sell to? And the qualifications, depending on their price point, has changed dramatically. So we meet with investors, as you know, of all shapes and sizes and all types of capacities. There's really two styles of investors that I see are doing well in this current market environment. And both investors revolve around one central word that hasn't existed in real estate for a long time, and that word is work. And what I mean by that is not trying to malign anyone in that industry, but there was a time when you could use real estate as a land bank. You could buy an asset, you could hold it for some period of time, you can resell it, and there was so much demand and money was so cheap, if not free, that you were almost guaranteed to make money. Those deals might still exist today, but everyone I talk to says if they're out there, they can't find them.
Right.
What it does exist today, whether you're on the commercial side developing an apartment complex, you're on the residential side with a single family home or whatever it might be, is there are opportunities out there to buy assets that, I won't call them distressed, but let's just call them marginalized, as long as you're willing to do some work. And if you're doing a ground up build, you can control the process, you can make money. If you're doing a rehab where you can actually add value, you can make money. So it's kind of like that old adage relative to clothing, never throw away a piece of clothing because trends always come back in style. This is real estate as I've known it most of my, my professional career. It took a lot of work, and to the ones who are willing to work the hardest, there was opportunity. It's kind of come back again.
I remember sitting in the car when I was like 18. I was that weird kid that listened to talk radio. I guess that's how I got into radio.
Me too.
I was 18 listening to a radio show. I won't say what it is because it's a little political, I guess. But I remember the host saying, look, you can have $10 million in the bank, and if you're buying a house for $500,000 and interest rates are low, you should still get a mortgage. I don't know if you're going to punch me for that question or not. I don't know. What do you tell your clients who do have some money?
Yeah.
They have enough cash to pay for their house,
Yep.
but maybe say they want to take a mortgage.
Sure.
How do you answer that?
So it won't surprise you, but there's a financial response and there's a psychological response.
Okay.
So the financial response is that in most cases, not in every case, but in most cases, if you use any rational historical returns, and again, no guarantees, but if you use any benchmark of historical returns and you have a time frame, let's just say greater than 10 years, a mortgage is almost always going to be a better financial decision. Almost always. Just the way the math works.
Right.
It's kind of like, is a Roth IRA better than a traditional IRA? Well, I personally think a Roth IRA mathematically is a better solution long term, but I really like the tax deduction I get, for my traditional IRA. Back to the home, the mortgage is usually going to be the better financial decision, but it comes with a price. It comes with an emotional price, as opposed to having an asset that doesn't have any carrying costs. Now I've created carrying costs, and that might create emotionally, psychologically, something that might tip me over in terms of my peace relative to my planning. And if that's the case, then it probably needs to be examined more closely. But at the end of the day, if you've got a cash flowing asset that will cash flow with a mortgage, you're generally better off having a mortgage than not.
Yeah, and if you have questions about this financial planning aspect of your life, I mean, for me, it's health is number one, right? And
Sure.
then the financial health is going to always be number two for you, not just for you and your family now and in the future. These are very, very important questions. The QR code is on the screen right now for John, and also the phone number 407-205-0400. I'll connect you with him right now. It is totally free. We were talking on another show about living trust and
Sure.
how important those can be, and you created this checklist for this audience to have them sit down. It's just 10 questions. It's
Right.
very simple to get an idea of what assets they have and what they need to do to protect those assets, including their real estate,
Sure.
if something happens to them. And this QR code on the screen right now will send you a link where you can get this checklist right away. It's totally free. But living trust are important, John.
They are, and especially when we start talking about real estate. One of the factors that early in my career we looked at if someone qualified or not for a living trust. Oftentimes, if you had someone who had real estate in a state other than where they were domiciled, it was an automatic living trust. Because how are you going to deal if you have
Right.
property in Kentucky? How are you going to deal with that? It's not simple. It's not easy, and we end up having to do these things at a time when we don't want to be doing these things. And learning, the justice system and the probate process in the state of Kentucky when we've just lost a loved one. No one wants to do that.
Absolutely.
So living trusts are a great way, and especially with real estate, people with diverse assets, but real estate is a big one because there's a lot of planning you can do, and the trust, again, it's the anchor piece. It's the spoke. And everything kind of revolves around it. And if it's properly crafted and it's properly funded, it's going to control the distribution process and easy.
That's why we do this show. John and Ledford, great job as always. Literally, we're here every single week to try to make your life easier, to make you more informed, because these decisions are super important, especially when it comes to your wealth, especially when it comes to your real estate, which is oftentimes our biggest asset. Here's what we will do. Speaking of assets, we have some listings to show you, but also a question we've gotten a lot recently is, you've been going through a divorce and you have real estate. Do you sell it? Do you split it up? How do you deal with real estate during a divorce? We will answer those questions. Quick break. You Have Real Estate continues. As we enter hurricane season, is your house protected? Is your family protected? Those windows on your home are so important. Renewal by Andersen is here. Dan Brigman, how are you, Dan? Good to see you.
I'm doing great, Justin. Thanks for asking.
A lot of people have memories of hurricanes, and do they just hear the windows going like this and this? I mean, a lot of windows out there are not safe right now. What should we do?
First thing you got to do is you got to have somebody out and have those windows inspected. Look, if you've had even just a windstorm come through and you've heard the vibration, vibration or even the whistle of the wind, you need to have us out. We need to look at it.
The QR code is on the screen right now. Dan brought a special gift for only you. Dan, if they hit the QR code, what are you going to offer?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that, but we've got the brand new Coastal product out, and we are doing something that will happen again, and it's buy one and get 40% off the next. And that's a Coastal product. And as you know, Coastal can be a security window also, not just a storm protection window. So it's an incredible deal. I'm excited about it. I'm kind of worried how we're going to see everybody, but we'll make it happen.
I love it. So a lot of times, though, your windows do need work. But here's what's going on. What we've noticed about people we've sent to renewal is the electricity bills have come down so much once they put the new windows that they pay for themselves.
Oh yeah, yes, they do. You take your house; it's roughly about 28 to 30% glass. And you have sun hitting three sides of your house. If you don't stop that sun from coming in, your electric bill will never slow down. By putting a Renewal by Andersen window in there, you can save anywhere from 25 to 40% in your electric bill. You put that in with your payment. 10 years, your windows you're making more on your return with us than you are with investments.
Well, Dan, great job. Call Renewal by Andersen or hit the QR code on your screen now. Welcome back to the show. All right, so it's kind of a dirty word, the divorce word. It's a scary word. It really is. And a lot of us, obviously, we own real estate with our husband or our wife, our significant other. And then at some point, that relationship is irretrievably broken, as we call it in the legal world. And what do you do with the real estate in that situation? It's a good question. I have two of my good friends here, attorney Brandon Stewart. Brandon, how are you? Welcome to this show for the first time.
Thank you, sir.
Rose Kemp, good dear friend of ours as well. Great real estate in the real estate world. Welcome. So what do we do? Let me start out from the legal side. All right. So we are getting a divorce. We own a house together. What do we do with the real estate?
Well, it depends. Who wants to keep it?
That's a lawyer answer. It depends. That's what we always. that's a good. What do we do? Well, one person wants to keep. One person wants to sell.
Exactly. First, you have to figure out who wants to keep, and then who wants to sell. And the person who wants to keep, can they financially keep? Is there ways that they could refinance the property, buy out the equity interest of the other party, things of that nature? Or sometimes in the settlement agreements or the judgments, the one party can actually stay in the house until the kid's 18.
And this is up to the judge at that point?
It depends.
Or what?
The parties can work it out amongst themselves, which is obviously the best way to handle any type of...
We wish we could always do that, but that's why
exactly.
lawyers exist, is we can't work it out.
If not, then yes, you literally have to go in front of a judge to let a judge decide what to do with the property.
So a partition, we use the word partition in law a lot, is when two people own a property, one wants to sell, one doesn't. You file a partition and a judge orders a sale. Do you have an absolute right to partition in a divorce case or no?
Yes. You typically have to specially plead it in your pleadings in a divorce, but absolutely. If one party wants to sell the property, you can absolutely partition. You have a right to partition that property.
I mean, I guess the other alternative is you stroke a big check to the person who wants to sell and give them their portion of it.
Right. So you could either buy out someone's equity like we discussed or refinance.
Yeah. Rose, you work with a lot of people who have gone through a divorce and who have sold their house. Mm-hmm. What is that transaction like? How does that differ from a regular transaction for you?
So typically I get a phone call from an attorney or one of the parties that's going through the divorce that has decided that I will be fair as a realtor to give them market analysis. So typically that's the first step. What's the property valued at? Right. And then from there, it could take many months actually, just depending on their circumstances. From there, it's then my job, if they determine that they're going to sell, to then figure out how we're going to do the showings, who's in agreement with what's the listing price going to be. They have to agree on the listing price. And I have seen definitely where it can get a little bit tough. One party believes their home is worth more, or maybe they just want it to take a little bit longer to sell. Right. So there's sometimes a lot of games that get played, but as a professional, I just kind of stay in the middle and it's just facts, and this is the price, and that's too high, and these are the showings we're getting. I have to communicate with both parties because they both have to sign, they both have to come to an agreement, and when we close, they both have to be there to sign off, and those checks from the title company got to be done correctly based on whatever the judge has determined.
Yeah.
So it's a process, but we get it done. I mean, sometimes it can be, though, super difficult. If one party is just not wanting to sell because they're madly in love with the house, but they just can't keep it, it can get a little sticky.
How often do you feel like one party or the other is trying to drag their feet because they don't want to leave? And on a side note, can a judge normally sense that one party's malingering along?
Yeah, you'd have to bring it to the judge's attention, because obviously judges have thousands among thousands of cases, but as long as you bring it to a judge's attention of how long a case has been going on for and what clearly has been going on here, then yes. But I would say 9 times out of 10, someone's trying to prolong the selling of the house. But or other times they want to get rid of the house right away and just move their, move on with their lives. Exactly.
Yeah, and the other part of the process is they always want to know, like, from me, where can I move? What are our proceeds going to be?
Sure.
What do you think our proceeds are going to be? And then where do I go next? And try to do simultaneous, which that works out for the realtor sometimes when they both are ready to move on.
Yeah.
And then they're both ready to go buy.
Yeah.
So now I get 3 sales out of the deal.
Perfect.
But I will say there was one case that I worked on many, many years back, actually, here locally. And one of the parties was sabotaging every step of the way until a judge legitimately had to almost evict one of them out of the property because they wouldn't allow the showings.
Yeah, we see that often.
I've been involved with a trial of that nature before and a divorce of exactly that nature. So
Yeah,
I understand.
And if you're going through this, by all means, you are going to go look for a new property. Whether it's buy or rent, I mean, I know that sometimes we go through a divorce, we want to rent for a year to kind of get back on our feet, but a lot of times you will go buy something else. So what's on the market right now, Rose, in about 30 seconds? This is a great deal here in Orange City.
It really is. So it's Volusia County, Orange City. It's a single-family home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 2008. It's 1,908 heated square feet. Move-in ready, absolutely nice. No backdoor neighbors. $369,999. So to me, that's like a really great deal. Starter home, and again, it is in a gated community, and it just got a brand new air conditioning system, so we're really excited.
That area of Volusia County really, kind of growing up, but a nice place to live now, and somewhat affordable still.
It is, and sometimes people feel it's really rural, but it really, when I go there, it's like literally 3 miles away from the I-4, so it's really not that far.
Totally agree.
So, ready for move-in. She maintained it well, and I think it's an awesome home for someone.
If you'd like to see this property, I'll connect you with Rose right now, or any property for that matter. 407-205-0400. If you're going through a divorce, thinking about a divorce, having some issues with child visitation, Attorney Brandon Stewart would be happy to talk to you for free, right? Mm-hmm. He would never charge you for a consultation like some of these people.
Never.
Good job. I appreciate it.
And I'll be in his contacts.
That's exactly. Absolutely. Here's what we're going to do, a very quick break. When we return, I've been excited about this one for a while. For the first time ever on this show, I think 6-year history, we're going to take you on a tour throughout Ocala and Marion County, horse country, as You Have Real Estate continues.
You can be an agent that struggles to get ahead in the competitive real estate world, or you can learn from the best and achieve success. Visit youhaveafutureinrealestate.com and sign up for the Jumpstart program. Get coaching tips and important tools that will help you jumpstart your real estate career. Sign up today and get 10% off your Jumpstart program when you use code word LEARN. Visit youhaveafutureinrealestate.com today and gain the real estate knowledge you need to succeed.
Do I ever have a very special gift for you today? Compliments our good friends over at Universal Roof and Contracting. 15% off your roofing job. The roof is the most important part of your house. No doubt about it. Welcome my good friends as always, Justin and Corey. Hi, how are you today?
Good, man, good. Thank you.
The roof is the most important part of the house, but sometimes deciding who your roofing company is going to be is the most important decision as well. Culture is everything. Sure. When determining who's going to do your roofing job, Universal, the culture over there blows me away. Trustworthy. Tell me about the culture at Universal.
Yeah, 30 years in the making, right? Family-owned, veteran-owned, same name and ownership over the past 3 decades. We're so proud to be so rooted in Orlando, and we have offices in Jacksonville and Southwest Florida, but the honest approach, the integrity we carry, working transparently with insurance companies and homeowners alike. We approach roofing the way an honest company really should.
Trusted by some of the biggest sports teams in Florida as well.
That's right. That's right. We this past season we were the one of the partners with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which was awesome. They had a great season this year too. And then just coming next month, the XFL, the Orlando Guardians. We are the official roofer for the Orlando Guardians, so we're excited to go out to those games and see everybody there. So it'll be great.
A roof can be expensive. You created great programs to make this roof not cost prohibitive for me.
Yeah, I mean, last thing we're going to do is take food off people's plates to afford a roof. So we have a ton of flexible financing plans that just keeps things very liquid for homeowners, even if they don't want to use their own money, even if they have it at the time, you know. So we offer that as well for every roof replacement.
I have this QR code on the screen right now. Get your phone out or go to their website, but the QR code will go directly to Justin and Corey, and literally you get 15% off. But guys, you're going to come to my house and tell me what I really need, honestly.
Absolutely, yeah. Free inspection, first of all. It does cost nothing for us to come out. We're going to sit down with you, hear what you like about your roof, what you don't like about your roof, what problems you've had, and come up with a custom scope of work that makes sense for you.
Always a pleasure to see you both. There's only one company we trust when it comes to roofing. That is Universal Roof and Contracting. Welcome back to the show, and I've been excited about bringing you this segment for a while now. And we went to visit these people here recently up in Ocala. It's Ocala Realty World, and that part of the country, that part of Florida, is just stunningly beautiful, and it's different. It's just, you have a different feel when you get up to Ocala. Very happy to be joined by Elisha Lopez with Ocala Realty World. Welcome to this show. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Thanks for having us up. You have an awesome place up in Ocala, but it gave me a chance to really drive around Ocala like I haven't in a while. And what I hear is a lot of people who live in sort of the Orlando bubble right now are continuing to move and trek a little bit north. And Ocala is obviously kind of the next stop north in many ways. How do you compare the price of real estate, Ocala / Marion County versus Orlando?
So I would say at least half
Really?
of the difference, was that's huge.
Yeah.
Like definitely a third.
Wow.
At least half, depending on some areas.
Is that right? And I know the market up there is hot too, but still is going to be lower. You're going to get more bang for your buck up in that part of the world.
Yeah.
How would you describe living up in the Ocala, Marion County area?
I would say a little slice of heaven. You don't really feel like you're in Florida,
Right.
but then you feel like you're in Florida.
Got it. How did you end up there?
By accident.
Is that right?
Well, we say accident, but it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And just like most, they're passing through or maybe an investment property and start looking around and say, gosh, so beautiful here. Just move here. And we get buyers that say that all the time. And that's what happened to us 18 years ago.
Oh my gosh, been there for 18 years now.
Yeah.
And so the market there is a little bit lower than it is in Orlando, like we said, half to 25% off. And you have these pre-construction properties. This was a listing that you saw, I believe, right? And so tell me about this property here.
Well, that property, it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, but it was brand new, about 1,800 square feet under air, and it actually recently sold for $269.
$269.
Yeah, and a quarter acre.
And a quarter acre. This is what I'm talking about, and this is why I've been excited to have you come down here, because for whatever reason we don't spend enough time on this show in Ocala. You know, we spend time Volusia County and Orange County, of course, Seminole, sort of the bubble here, but we haven't spent a lot of time showing properties up in that area, and I think that people are really missing out, almost missing the boat there. What about seller's market versus buyer's market? Is it still more of a seller's market in the Ocala area?
I'd say it's kind of even. We're right in the middle, and I've been almost 24 years in the business, and it's the first time that I've ever been in like a half and a half.
Is that right?
Which is kind of cool, yeah.
Now, during the pandemic, was it a seller's market big time still?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the buyers are making a comeback. What about negotiations? If I'm trying to buy something as a buyer up in that area, can I ask for closing costs? Can I negotiate a little bit, or is it is what it is?
It depends on the listing,
Right.
you know, and I think it always just depends then on the listing agent and how they are advising their seller and educating them on the market for a smoother process. But we are seeing buyers asking for closing costs, and about half, 3%, is becoming normal again,
Right.
which is good.
Absolutely. How did you start Ocala Realty World and grow it into what it is today? And it's an impressive brokerage that you've created.
Yeah, so gosh, 18 years ago, we moved to Ocala from South Florida.
Right.
And my husband, when we met and we were dating, he was already in real estate. So that's how I got in. And then we became the Lopez team. We were selling, it was awesome. And an opportunity came back in the middle of 2011 for us to be able to open up our own brokerage. So we did. And fast forward, gosh, 12, 13 years now, we've been blessed to help agents grow and help our community grow. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, you guys are doing a wonderful job up there. What are some things to do in Ocala? I'll tell you, as I drive around, I see a lot of horse farms.
I know. And so I'm a Miami Beach girl.
Yeah.
So moving to the
was a
country,
big change.
yes, it was huge, but it's just so peaceful. And even though there's so many people moving from South Florida, from Orlando, Tampa area, it's still quiet. It's still like that just sense of peacefulness is really still there. We're really starting to feel a lot of people moving from South Florida. So for my husband, I was like, oh, our people, they're here. Like you can feel that energy.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. And it's just really diverse. There's, of course, horses, and you have the World Equestrian Center. So we like to say it's like bougie Disney World.
Yes, it is. I've been there.
Right? And I mean, it's beautiful. And it's just kind of sometimes you're like, I can't believe, when you think horses, you think the farm. So it's really opens up people in general to something different they've never experienced. But outdoors is huge. There's the springs, there's, of course, horseback riding, there's lots of springs, there's the rivers, fishing. My husband loves fishing, but there's lakes. I mean, any outdoor Florida experience, you're going to find it.
Right there, right there in your own backyard, really. What about schools? A lot of parents here might have children. They're thinking about moving up for a little bit less of a fast-paced life up to Ocala or Marion County in general. How are the schools?
Schools are great. I mean, I kind of feel like it's the same across the state, so no different. So leaving one area to move to another area, not much of a difference.
Got it. Now, let's say that I'm watching the show right now. I'm living in Orlando, thinking about heading up to the Ocala area, and I want to check out some properties, okay? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Facebook, email, ocalarealtyworld.com, Facebook message, Instagram message, anything Ocala Realty World.
Ocala Realty World really taking over that area up in Ocala, all of Marion County, really. You can also call the phone number on the screen, 407-205-0400. I'm so happy to have you on the show. Hope you're going to be involved more. I'm scared, though, as well, because it's so beautiful up there. I'm afraid that we're going to send so many people from the Orlando area might create some traffic for you.
Right.
Are you okay with that?
Totally fine.
And you're
South
okay?
Florida,
Yeah.
you never beat the traffic.
That's a very good point. And you're okay showing the people at home some properties up in Ocala and showing it off too, right?
Yes. My team and I are ready to go and excited about it.
So good to have you on the show. Elisha Lopez, Ocala Realty World. Thank you so much. Good job. We'll see you again soon. Special thanks to our WKMG-based crew, as always, Dallas Lehman, who's behind the scenes taking pictures. And you can call him right now as well to get pre-approved, 407-205-0400. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and I'll see you next week for more You Have Real Estate.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.